Hey baboos, this is Chatty from Chatty. Needless to say, India's first and only beer podcast. Good morning, people, and today is October 31st, the last day of the month. Also, the last day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month 2, and we are on episode 2 of the podcast. The month is ending, but the work and the support for breast cancer is not ending. As I said earlier, it goes on throughout the year. So I'm just going to pick it up from where we left last time and take on 2 organizations that raise funds for breast cancer and 2 breweries as well. Something that I really noticed is about all this is that all these breweries, most of them and the NGOs, they've all had someone who has gone through breast cancer or they themselves have gone through it, and that has really strengthened their resolve to support it. It's only sometimes when you go through something or you experience it around you that you realize how important it is, especially life. So on the same note, even Beer for Boobs was started. Beer for Boobs was established in 2008 by Lisa White of White Labs. And her journey started when she went through this entire 3-day run for Susan G. Komen. And she walked for 60 miles. And can you believe it? She was 5.5 months pregnant as well. She did this walk for her Aunt Terry, her cousin Loretta, and another team member who was diagnosed with breast cancer. Truly amazing. She also saw some 4,000 people around there, all united for one common goal. And there were like 20 plus year olds who were going through the breast cancer, and she couldn't believe that there's so much happening around and she needed to do something about it. It was an eye-opener for her, and she somehow decided that she's going to tie up with an organization to help them with the research on breast cancer and help the families and survivors as well. 12 years later, Lisa raised $450,000 for breast cancer research and American Cancer Society. And she's still at it. It's not that she stopped right there. So every year, breweries and non-profits, a lot of them look up to them to collaborate with unique beers, events, merchandise, somehow to raise funds for cancer patients. They also help raise money and design merchandise that appeals to those affected by the ailment. And beer enthusiasts, because it's not just about people who go through it, it's the entire world. Everyone needs to know. You never know who, where, when in your life might just be struck by it. God help, nobody does, but yes, it's good to know. So they do something very interesting. They actually bring in this prosthetic breast displays as well at the events to help people self-examine, learn the warning signs and different stage of tumors that one would go through. Plus, how to catch on the simple, easy signs that something is wrong with you. That's important. It's not just when you get it, but early on itself you need to be aware. Like I always say, prevention is better than cure. Yes, and the funds go to different organizations, including the Susan G. Komen Foundation and the American Cancer Society. So that's about Beer for Boobs and all the work that how they started and they continue to do so. I love the name. I really love the name Beer for Boobs. Even their logo is very interesting. I'm going to move on to a brewery called Short Brewing Company, which is based in Michigan and is partnering with the Pink Fund to raise money for their organization. Short Brewing Company was started by a 22-year-old brewer by the name Joe Short. Okay, nice name. And he started this in the state of Michigan. Short has sizable barrel amount of brewing experience across the years and across states as well. And he realized that his style of brewing is something that's suited for his own business model. Nobody else is going to understand it, and most importantly, he doesn't want to be answerable to anyone else as well. Because his brews, as he says, are specialty brews. They're quite outrageous. No doubt they're very creative too. So Joe wanted to brew something very bold, very flavorful, and wanted people to travel from across to just get a taste of them. And truly, it is happening. His brews are that good. So he started with the renovation of a 120-year-old hardware store in 2003, okay, when Joe and several other friends came together and they started renovating and restoring this place. And finally, the doors of the pub were opened in 2004, April 26. Speaking of their creative brews, Short Brewing Company has a brew called Soft Parade, and it is the brewery's one of the most popular brews, and it tastes really good. It's sweet but not so sweet. So this is brewed with a whole lot of berries. That's strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. What the end result is a pinkish colored beer, which is very refreshing. So this is the beer that is sold, and the proceeds of this go to the Pink Fund. And what is Pink Fund? Pink Fund is a non-charitable organization based out of Bloomfield Hills. And they help people with breast cancer and also the ones that are there in Michigan State as well. And like I said, the fight against breast cancer and supporting it is not restricted only to the month of October. It extends beyond as well. The same goes for Short. So they continue their support, and they donate $1 of every Soft Parade beer to the Pink Fund. So next time you go to the brewery, order the beer, and you know that it's going for a good cause. Let's talk about the Pink Fund. The Pink Fund was started by a lady by the name Molly McDonald, and she herself went through breast cancer in 2005. And it completely took her off the bonkers. She knows what she went through, not just clinically, but also financially. It drained the entire family in every way, and the financial status was hanging by the cliff. So that's when she decided to do something about it. And also she was in between jobs and she couldn't start the new one because of breast cancer. Molly founded the Pink Fund in 2006, which provides 90 days of non-medical financial aid to cover the basic costs of living expenses, such as health insurance, housing, transportation, and utilities. So, by providing this financial bridge, the Pink Fund helps to meet basic needs while also decreasing the stress levels of the victim and the families as well. So they can help and they can focus only on healing and improve their survival. So we've reached the last segment of our Breast Cancer Awareness Month podcast, episode 2. And I'm going to be covering Harpoon Brewery. This is based in Boston. And Harpoon has something known as Harpoon Beer Hall. It's a huge hall. And they've got drinking and dining place indoors and outdoors, where they serve fresh brews and fresh foods as well. Speaking of their association with breast cancer, it all started when an employee was diagnosed with it, and they decided to support her and help her out through thick and thin. So every November, they have a beer called Harpoon Dragon Wise, and $1 for a pint gets donated to MetaViber research and support. If you can't go to the brewery and have one to support the cause, you can always donate online as well. This is something which goes for most of the breweries. It's not something that you just have to go grab a beer, enjoy it, and have fun and then support it. You can stay long distance and still do something for the world too. Harpoon Helps is the charitable arm of Harpoon Brewery, and their entire mission is to be a good neighbor, give you some good fun, and also support good causes as well while you're doing all of that. Fun should never go out of the window, and funding should always come in as well. I would call it fun with fund. So what they do is every year they donate a lot of dollars to New England charities, and they also raise their own events within the breweries as well to support causes. So next time when you are in Boston, please don't forget to go and visit their breweries And the line goes as, love beer, love life, harpoon. Isn't that something that's common even for our lives too? You need to love your life, live your life, drink good beers, and support great causes. Be a good human being. So that's it, Babos. This is Chatty from cheerschatty signing off from this month's podcast. Happy November to all you guys. And look forward to our future podcasts as well. Tell us how you like this one. Don't forget to follow us on our social media and podcast channels. Take care. Cheers.